Prime field.
Here's the truth that sound backwards. Blanca Quinonez scoring fewer points might be the clearest sign the University of Connecticut can win the national championship in 2026. By the end of this video, you will understand why Geno Auriemma rewarded her with more playing time, even while her scoring dropped. And you will be able to spot the exact moment a freshman stops playing for highlights and starts playing for trust. At the University of Connecticut, scoring is celebrated, but protecting possessions is sacred, especially in the season after Paige Bueckers. The margin between a comfortable win and a season-ending loss is not always talent. It is the 2 or 3 possessions you waste when you hesitate, force a pass, or turn a good advantage into nothing. And that is why Quinonez's change is not a small tweak. It is the kind of shift that decides March basketball. The entire story is simple and brutal. Quinonez's value flipped from high-volume energy to low mistake connection. On a roster that already has elite finishers, the University of Connecticut does not need every wing to hunt shots. It needs someone who can keep the offense flowing, keep the spacing alive, and move the ball to the right place before the defense resets. Because the best shot in this system often comes one pass earlier than you think. Quinonez arrived different, because she did not come in as a typical teenager learning physicality for the first time. She came with years of experience playing against grown professionals in Italy. That is the gift and the trap. In a professional environment, a creator can take risks and live with mistakes, but in Geno Auriemma's world, especially for a freshman, risky possessions are a fast way to lose minutes, and early on he made it clear the turnovers were unacceptable, which set up the biggest question of her season. Could she keep her creativity while removing the chaos? We isolate 2 short windows that show a clear transformation, not a hot streak. In the first window against Butler in Iowa, she played like instinct and confidence were enough, and the production looked loud, but the possessions were expensive. She averaged 11 points per game, 3 assists per game, 2 turnovers per game, and about 19.5 minutes per game, with an assist-to-turnover ratio that sat around 1.5, meaning the good plays came packaged with mistakes that could swing momentum. In the second window against Providence and Seton Hall, the scoring dropped, but the control skyrocketed. She averaged 7.5 points per game, 3.5 assists per game, half a turnover per game, and about 21.5 minutes per game, with an assist-to-turnover ratio of 7, which is not a normal freshman profile. It is the profile of a veteran guard who understands what a possession is worth. This is the part box score watchers miss. Her points per game went down by 3.5, her assist-to-turnover ratio improved by 5.5, and her minutes per game increased by 2, which tells you exactly what Geno Auriemma is paying for. If you want a single-sentence takeaway, it is this. She traded shots for security, and the coaching staff paid her back with time on the floor, because at the University of Connecticut, minutes are the real scoreboard. If you are still here, you are already ahead of most viewers, because once you learn what earns minutes in this program, you can predict who closes games before the final quarter even starts. This is not just about one player improving, it is about understanding how championship teams choose their trusted 5 when every possession gets tight. And now we can talk about the exact on-court behavior that made the turnovers disappear. The film version of this story is speed, not strength. In the first window, you can see the pause on the wing, catch, look around, hold the ball, let the defense breathe, then try to force a pass or drive into a crowded lane. And that hesitation turns advantage into turnovers. In the second window, she becomes a relay. Catch, read, and make a decision immediately. Either swinging the ball to a shooter like Fudd before the defense recovers, feeding the interior touch to Sarah Strong before help arrives, or taking a straight-line drive only when the closeout gives her a clean lane. And that one change turns her from a chaos creator into an advantage extender. This roster does not need Quinonez to be a third lead scorer every night, because Fudd is built to punish late closeouts, and Sarah Strong is built to bend defenses inside. So the most valuable wing skill becomes the ability to connect those weapons without wasting time. When Quinonez moves the ball quickly, the defense is always a half step late, and when the defense is a half step late, the University of Connecticut looks unstoppable, which is why her improvement is bigger than her own numbers. It is an ecosystem upgrade. I want your honest answer. If you are Geno Auriemma, do you prefer a freshman who scores 12 points with 2 turnovers, or a freshman who scores 8 points with 0 turnovers and keeps the offense humming, and why? Put your answer in the comments because your choice reveals what you think wins in March. University of Connecticut history is full of players whose greatness was not just points, it was control, and Quinonez is stepping into that tradition. Think about the forward who becomes a playmaker, the player who rebounds, pushes, defends, and connects without forcing the spotlight. And think about the low mistake specialist, whose value is that she never gives the opponent free possessions. Quinonez's second window is a small sample, but the direction is loud, and it tells you she is learning the championship job description. Make the right play quickly, and do not bleed possessions. Here's the debate. Do you want Quinonez taking more shots to chase double-digit scoring, or do you want her staying in this connector role that makes the Stars even more efficient? Choose one and tell me what you think the closing lineup needs most. Blanca Quinonez did not hit a freshman wall. She had a championship adjustment. She stopped trying to be the loudest scorer on the floor and started trying to be the safest decision-maker. Her scoring dipped, her control exploded, and her playing time rose, which is the clearest proof that the staff sees her as part of the trusted group when possessions matter most. So here's the forward-looking question that sets up everything. With Ozzy Fudd and Sarah Strong as the primary finishers, does Blanca Quinonez becoming a point-forward style connector make her more valuable to this roster than a traditional scoring wing like Ashlyn Shade, even if Quinonez never averages double digits? And in the next video, we are going to break down the closing lineup battle, because the real story is not just who scores, it is who stays on the floor when the game turns into one possession pressure.
Prime Field!